Welcome, everyone. How are you? I am Glenda Dawson, and this is LD, and you are here with us at Glenda's Dragon's Den. And Glenda's Dragon's Den is on the Conscious Awakening Network on Roku TV, Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, and many other streaming platforms. Today, we have a wonderful guest, Cheryl Lynn Carter. Welcome. How are you today?
Good. Nice to be here.
Good. Nice to have you here. Um, so tell us all about yourself, how you got to this point in life.
Well, I'm a psychic medium. I was born this way. Don't know how it works. I was born this way. I'm a remote viewer and I'm a member of Project Psi. It's a team of psychic and forensic remote viewers that we rescue missing children, assist with shutting down human trafficking rings, and we've closed several cold cases. To date, we rescued 502 children, closed 18 cold cases, and assisted in shutting down 12 human trafficking rings.
Wow,
A
that's
lot of
wonderful.
times when you're looking for one child, you might find six, a dozen. You find human trafficking sometimes. So
Mm.
you hit the trifecta.
Mm, that is wonderful. Um, so you say you were born with the
Mhm.
gifts, and when did you realize you had these gifts?
I think when I was 4,
Hmm.
that's the first thing that I remember. I was with my grandma. We went to my aunt's farm and they were downstairs in the morning and I was upstairs, and there was a room with a bunch of old trunks and boxes, and you know how kids are, we got to snoop. So I tiptoed into the room and I'm looking around. Oh, nothing there, nothing there. Then I saw this truck with these really ornate hinges on it, and I said, that looks interesting. There's probably something good there. And I got closer and there was a little boy standing there. He was, about my age. I'm thinking, why does my aunt have a little boy in her upstairs? That's kind of crazy. And then I got closer and I could see through him because I could see the wall.
Right.
And I go, why could I see through him? And he put out his hand and he says, come play with me. And his hand was cold. And I ran down the stairs. I didn't tell my aunt probably 20 years later that there was a little boy up there. But ever since then, I would see things. Spirits would talk to me. I would know things were going to happen before they happened. And for a long time, I just thought everybody could do this.
Mm-hmm.
Till I went to school, you're a little bit older, 8, 9, and you go, no, everybody can't do this. And they think you're weird. I was the weird kid in school. I was
Yes.
the weird one.
Uh, um, and so did you ever tell your parents or your
Well, grandma, I knew grandma had the gift because it's hereditary. It
Mhm.
does come down the family line. My mother never believed in that, but I mean, it doesn't skip a generation. She just wouldn't accept it probably.
Right.
And grandma would do same things that I did, and we didn't really talk about it. We just kind of did our stuff. And then she died when I was 12, so we didn't really get to share a lot of stuff like that. And like I said, I just kind of did all this on my own. It wasn't until I was a senior in high school and I met another girl, and she could talk to dead people and she could see things. And I said, I'm not crazy. After all, I have someone to talk to. And
Yeah.
she's one time she says, you want to know something cool? She goes, did you ever lay in your bed and see yourself standing at the foot of your bed? No, I didn't know what that was called. Right? It's out of
Mhm.
body experience. We didn't
Mhm.
have names for that stuff back then. And I said, no, it sounds kind of cool. So I did it. And then I'm thinking, you better get back in your body. What if you can't get back in your body? So I only did that one time. But we start experimenting with things like that, and we'd go to call each other on the phone. The phone never rang. I'd pick up the phone, she'd be there. She'd pick up the phone, I'd be there. Just crazy stuff like that. But like I said, we were the weird kids as we talked to dead people. And now it's funny now people that I went to high school don't want to be my friend because they think I'm cool now.
Because you do talk to dead people.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, so whenever your family did find out that you can speak to the dead, and had to guess, what did you experience, a welcoming feeling, or
We never
was it?
talked about it.
Huh? Hmm,
We never talked about it. I just had to deal with it myself. Like I said, they didn't believe in that. And
okay.
I remember when I was doing my genealogy and I'd ask my mother questions, she says, it's bad luck to speak about the dead. So I mean there was no talking about this stuff.
Mm,
I was on my own, and there were no movies, there were no books to read. You just had to learn,
mm-hmm,
trial and error.
mm-hmm.
Well, if it'll make you feel any better, I'm still the weird kid.
I like being the weird kid.
There you go.
You don't want to be like everybody else.
Exactly. And so now you remember when you were 4, you saw the child, and you continue. You found your friend in high school. Are you still friends? Did you remain friends throughout, or
That girl? No,
yeah?
I don't know. 'Cause she's still in Illinois. I moved away.
Okay.
Yeah, so we lost touch. Yeah.
Mm,
But you made new friends.
yes.
Yeah. Well, I says, and now I got, Facebook friends
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
that I went to high school with that never talked to me in high school, but whatever.
And so the new stage relatively is MUFON for you.
Mhm. Yes.
When did
Yes.
that start?
Oh, probably 7 years ago. I just thought I want to join MUFON. Well, the reason that I joined MUFON was because I'm driving down the street one day, middle of the afternoon, and I look up in the sky. There's no clouds, clear blue sky, and the sky just ripped open, and this silver disc object came out. And I'll go, what? And this is before we had a camera phone, so I had no camera.
Mm.
So I'm just looking. I'm trying to tell people, look, and nobody's looking. And all of a sudden, everything just kind of stopped. Things weren't moving anymore. Like I was fixated looking at this thing. And I go, why can't anybody else see this? And why isn't anything moving right now? So I don't know how long I was staring at this thing. And then the sky opened up again. It went back inside, and the sky just closed.
Mm.
So that was my first portal.
Mm.
And that's why I thought I wanted to join MUFON, learn more about this stuff.
So that makes you an experiencer.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And how long ago was that about?
Oh, that had to be 10 years ago. I mean, I've seen a lot more things since then, but that was my first.
Mm.
And I said, I wish I had a camera at that time, but I didn't.
Even if you try to take a picture of it, sometimes it doesn't come out.
Well, maybe it didn't want me to take a picture.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Exactly. Which is probably why it picked you to see it.
Mm-hmm.
Because others.
Yeah, no one else saw it. Yeah.
Right. Right.
Maybe I wasn't supposed to see it. Maybe that was an accident. It was like they came out and go, oops. Like a wrong turn or something. I don't know. Because they went right back in, right?
And there's a MUFON meeting coming up that you're going to be at?
Yes, May 7th. It's on a Sunday. For the people in Michigan, we're going to be up at Frankenmuth.
Okay. Good.
Meetings at 11 o'clock. You can go to the MUFON on Facebook and see.
Okay.
And that's 11 o'clock a.m.?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So a lot of people, they think you can only see the stuff at night. And that's, like
No,
you said, your first
we go.
experience.
We have like it's all afternoon, so we probably leave like 4 o'clock. We do a whole day thing.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Mm.
Nice if you've been to Frankenmuth, you know about the chicken. So
There
Zenders is going to give us our lunch, just so you know.
Now, you don't have to be an experiencer to go to the meeting, correct?
No, anybody can come. And we don't just talk about UFOs. We talk about anything you want to talk about. We talk
Awesome.
about Bigfoot. We talk about everything. That's why I like our meeting, because any subject we'll talk about. This week, though, we're going to talk about CE5.
CE5. Okay.
As
And
I belong to a group in Brighton, Michigan, and Kimberly Marie is the head of the group there, and she's going to be speaking.
okay.
So
And to the audience who doesn't know who C or what CE5 is, can you explain a little bit about it, or?
there's different. If you've heard of the close encounters of the third kind,
Right.
this is close encounters of the fifth kind, and that means where you're trying to initiate contact.
Right. Okay.
And
That's
what
good.
we do is we get our little lawn chairs, and we form a circle, and we're just out there sky watching.
Good.
Or I like to look into the woods, because things come out of the woods too.
Hmm.
And how often do you guys do that?
A few times in the summer.
And have you had success?
Yes. I haven't seen things up in the sky, but I've had pictures of things that came out of the woods.
Oh, good. Good.
And is that also open to people that
Anybody
have not experienced?
that wants to join, yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And where is that?
Brighton, Michigan.
Brighton, Michigan.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can, if somebody wants to find it in Brighton, is there a place that'll give coordinates, or how do
Yeah,
they?
she'll give coordinates, yeah.
So where
I'm not even sure
exactly?
where she's gonna have it,
Okay. So where exactly would it be?
Do they have a page, or?
How did they?
I don't know if she usually does it on Meetup.
Oh,
Okay,
all
so
right. So
people can find it on Meetup. What's it usually called?
Brighton CE5.
Brighton
Brighton
CE5.
C5.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, at least people that are interested will have a.
Yeah, because sometimes we do singing bowls, because the vibration attracts things. Like I say, not just things in the sky,
Mm-hmm.
things on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
I got some amazing pictures of who knows what they are.
Okay. All right. Yeah. It's and that the good part about those meetings is I'm sure everybody shares pictures and
Yeah.
experiences,
Mm-hmm.
so we can all discover we're not alone. That if you do see something or experience something, it's all there. It's not that you're going crazy like we all first think. Sometimes the first time you're like, did that really happen?
Yeah. You
So,
show a picture, you go, what is this? Well, I don't know, but I got something looks like that too,
yeah. Yeah.
So you're a busy lady.
Like one time when we had the singing bowls, I'm sitting facing the woods, and I saw these two balls of light, and we were far enough away from the woods. I would say they're like basketball size.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like somebody just turned two flashlights on.
Hmm.
And I said, I know there's nobody down there by the woods, because it was too big to be flashlights anyway. And all of a sudden they started moving around, changing places, going back and forth. I'm watching them for almost a half hour.
Wow.
And I'm pointing to people, look, look, look. And they go, and they're looking up in the sky. I says, no, something's happening right here. So my friend and I we're watching, and they're going back and forth. And then the one, the little squiggly balloon guy on the curb, that one of them started doing that, like it was swaying to the singing bowls.
Wow.
And then it went back down I got pictures. I didn't think of doing video, but I got pictures on my FLIR. And then all of a sudden, when the singing bowls stopped, like both lights just went up, like they turned the flashlight off.
Wow.
What that was that night, I don't know.
You didn't get any sense of contact, though. You didn't get any conversation.
It could be like elementals. I don't know what.
Right.
Yeah.
We attract. Yeah. Elementals don't talk to you, but that was just, that was so cool.
That definitely sounds like it was.
Yeah. So CE5 isn't just looking at flying saucers in the sky. There's many other things.
Mm-hmm. Very true.
Now, is that going to be in your book?
No.
Okay, so what's going to be in your book? Because I've heard rumors you've got a book almost done.
Yeah, it's called Chosen. It's real
Yeah.
UFO encounters and abductions.
That's wonderful. And there it is for everyone to see. Look at that beautiful cover, guys.
And how many people approximately have contributed stories to this?
Nobody, I'm writing it.
Okay. Okay.
So these are your encounters?
No, these are famous encounters.
Oh,
Oh.
these are famous encounters.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So
You probably heard of Rendlesham Forest, right?
Mhm.
Okay. Rendlesham Forest will be on there.
Mm.
So have you channeled them or spoken with them about this through your mediumship?
No,
This is
I'm just
basically
getting stories. There, interviews with people, and I want pictures of everybody. You hear people say, "Well, this one said this." I want to see their faces.
right.
And I want you to hear how upset they were when they saw things,
Mm.
how it changed them after
Mhm.
this happened, things like that.
Mm.
Well, it sounds like it's going to be a fun read.
Yeah.
It's been fun researching.
I bet.
It has, yeah.
And you're going to be able to take some of those with you to Utah?
A couple maybe, because I'm flying. I can't drive.
Okay. Well, you could pre-ship them.
Yeah, I know. And then you gotta show. Well, I'm not vending because of the tables are $200, and it's nuts.
Mm. But
It's
you're going to be there. That's
yeah,
fantastic.
yeah,
But you could definitely carry a book or two, and and if somebody's interested, you could take their information and they could
yeah. Well, I
ship
thought
it
I'd
in.
take a couple that for some friends I'm gonna meet there. So
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
So, what is the Utah meeting going to be like? Who's going to be there?
it's called Phenomicon. It's in Vernal, Utah.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be the third year.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to have the cast from Secret of Skinwalker Ranch,
Mm.
the
Okay.
cast from Expedition Bigfoot,
Nice.
George Knapp.
Nice.
Very nice.
Very nice.
And about how many people attend that?
Oh, maybe 500-600. It's a small town, but it's
Yeah. It's a lot of people though.
mm-hmm.
Really.
Oh yeah, it's an all-day event thing.
Mm.
Very nice.
So, that was your first encounter with the UFO. Did you have any more that you want to share with us?
I've seen a lot of I see a lot of strange lights.
Mm-hmm.
Another time I was going to work in the morning, and I'm heading east, and I look up in the sky, and I see like this rod of light. It wasn't any solid structure. It was light.
Mm.
I said, well, it can't be sunlight. It was like a crack of sunlight.
Right.
And I watched, and it start again, no camera. And I watched, and it started rotating to the 3 o'clock position.
Hmm.
I'm like, okay. Now I did have a camera phone then, but I didn't want to be late for work. Shame on me. I don't care. I will be late wherever I'm going anymore. I did manage to get one picture because I've seen it 3 times.
Wow.
And then it goes back up to 12 o'clock, and then it turns off.
Hmm.
What
Okay.
that is?
Very
So you've
interesting.
seen it on 3 separate occasions.
Yes.
Now,
In the
I
same
know
place, in the same area.
MUFON does regressions. Have you ever done a regression?
No.
Okay.
We did one at our last MUFON meeting.
Mm-hmm.
See, we have fun there.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And you got another one coming up on May 7th, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so people can go and get a little more detail.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's interesting. 3 times you saw it, and it moved to the 3 position.
Well,
That's
and the one time when I
mhm,
saw it over on the left side of the road, another one turned on. I go, okay, now what the heck? And
uh-huh.
that one divided into two.
Oh, so then it was 3.
Yeah, and one of those started going to the 3 o'clock position, like the one on the right.
Huh.
Then they all went back up to 12. The two went back to 1, and then they both turned off.
Huh. It's very interesting that they're giving you the number 3, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's, I
but I
mean,
go,
it's a very powerful number.
yeah, but what is this?
Hmm. Could be a sign of the divine.
I don't
You
know.
know, who knows?
I've taken it to MUFON meetings and talk. I've got everybody baffled. Nobody knows it. I've never seen this. I've seen it 3 times. I can't believe you've never seen something like this.
They need to find out what time you're on your way to work, where it is, and just sit
Well, I
there.
mean, that could happen any place, but
Right.
most people aren't looking at the sky. I'm always looking at the sky. Even people. I'm in a hurry. Got to get to work and stuff. But I got to get here. Got to get there. I'm always looking at the sky. Always. You don't know what you're going to see up there.
Exactly. Exactly. Now you were discussing about the organization that you or the group that you belong to help bring back children and all
Mhm.
that. So tell us a little bit about that. A little more, anyway, if you can.
Well, I says mostly we did start out working on some cold cases
Hmm.
and some missing children, and we just concentrate on missing children now because it's really important when there's a child missing. You only have 48 hours to bring them back home alive.
Hmm.
And that's not saying you can't bring them home alive later, but if you've watched the TV show 48 Hours,
Yeah.
something's got to be done in 48 hours.
Right. Right.
And we're remote viewers,
Hmm.
and so each one of us will get the child's picture, and Dr. Chuck will send us the picture, and each one of us, we remote view, and then we call him and say, "This is what I see." The other person calls that we're not all together, so you're not all going, reading off each other and stuff like
Right.
that. And then he gets all the information together, and he contacts the police.
Nice.
And I've got a software program that the police use. It's composite software where I
Hmm.
can draw pictures of the person that abducted somebody or that killed somebody. I can draw pictures,
Oh,
and I've
nice.
used that several times. And then we see the picture of the person, I go, wow, that looks just like him.
So you get to see sometimes right through the child's eyes or remote.
That's what I look through their eyes. I'm not sure how other people when they remote view, but that's what I
Right.
do. I look through somebody's eyes.
That's very important because you get to actually see from their point of view what they're seeing, and then
Right.
you
No,
can give
yeah, landmarks. What
ex-
street? Is there a McDonald's on this corner, or is there a house over here? Those
right.
are important things. You
Yeah.
might not know the name of the street, but you can do the landmarks and figure,
Mm-hmm.
somebody can figure it out that lives there.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And even when they walk up a steps or whatever, you could see numbers or
Hmm.
possibilities.
Hmm.
That's a very good gift to have. Um, Now you did that. Were you be a were you able to do that from the very beginning, or did you develop that as you went along? The
Well, I
remote
says
viewing.
I did it all my life. I just didn't know what it was called,
Okay.
and I didn't really use it for any good purpose, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Yes.
you didn't use it for any bad purpose, so by default, it was all good purpose. It was all
Yeah,
training.
because I messaged my sister in Illinois. And I said, "So how many fish did you catch today?" And she goes, "How'd you know I went fishing?" I saw you. You were, you know, just silly stuff like that. Not
Right.
use it for important things, but
But that's all validation. So, that all helps you strengthen the gift. The more you use the
yeah,
gift, the stronger they get.
exactly. It's like a muscle, like when you're lifting weight. Exactly. You got to keep using
Mm-hmm.
it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And how did you get started in that organization or group?
Dr. Chuck just came to me. He was a friend of ours,
Mm-hmm.
and we went to there was Chicago Ghost Con. There used to be a big convention there every year,
Right.
and we would all go there. And he, some of us got together. Like we all live in different states.
Mm-hmm.
I've probably met two of the people.
Okay.
One lives in Las Vegas, one lives in Texas. We never all meet together,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, we all work together. And he does something. It's called brain mapping,
Mm-hmm.
where he puts this stuff on your head, and you can see how your brain waves change when you're talking to spirit.
Nice.
And he did that to me at Chicago Ghost Con one time.
Okay. That must have been awesome to see.
Yeah, because your brain changes and your body changes
Mm-hmm.
when you're talking to spirit.
Okay.
Your blood pressure changes, everything changes.
Mm.
Now, with that program that you said, you can create the face of the perpetrator, I take it,
Or anything, yeah.
but you use it mostly for the perpetrator. Uh, has that ever gone and been used with facial recognition to put a name to it, or?
Sometimes I get names. Some people in the group get names. I'm not real good with names all the time.
But I'm saying the actual, when you get the face,
Yeah.
is there a way for that to be run through facial recognition?
Well, he gives that to the police, and they do their thing. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So maybe that's one of the ways they can pin down as to, who it is and
Mhm.
their whereabouts, because a
Right.
lot of these people are serial.
Yeah. And I've also used it. I'm a paranormal researcher, and I have friends in other states that are investigating somewhere, and they go, I don't know what's going on in this house, and I draw the picture of the spirit there. I go, this is the spirit that's trying to talk to you.
Mm.
And the
That.
one time they're at this woman's house, and she says, I don't. Her father was living with her, and she says, I don't know. Something keeps coming in my father's bedroom at night, and I don't know what it is. And she was all nervous and stuff. And they're investigating. They're doing the video on Facebook, and they go, what is it? What is it? And I said, oh, let me draw something quick. They go, what is it? I says, and I drew a picture, and I says, well, I don't know who this is, but this man keeps coming over and tapping him on the arm and stuff. And they showed the picture to her, and she goes, oh my gosh. She goes, that's one of his old army buddies that died.
Wow.
Who would have thought that
Wow.
was going to come to you? You'd think it would be a relative. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
So that comes in handy. They would have never figured out who this guy was.
Mm.
Because
Yes.
he wasn't speaking. He was just touching the guy and moving things. He wasn't speaking.
Well, that's the only way he was able to try to communicate. He didn't have
Right.
anything.
Now that he knew who was there, maybe they did speak to each other.
Right. Right.
But he didn't know who was touching him either. I said, see, nothing to be afraid of. It's a friend.
Mm-hmm. And that's exactly it. Maybe he was scared and shut down himself, not to even acknowledge that there was somebody touching him.
Or
Well,
maybe the guy sensed
he knew
it.
something was happening, but he didn't realize it was a friend.
Right. Right.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was a friend that died in the war, and it's like lost. He didn't know how to move on.
Mm.
And so see that they helped. This man helped him move on. Look at that.
Yeah. That is wonderful. It must have been very healing for them to
Mhm.
to see that and experience that and confirm that.
And I don't like when people say they went somewhere and we moved all these spirits on. We moved them to the light. You can't do that. They go when they want to go. You can't move anybody to the light.
Now you could open the door for them, and they still have to choose to go or not.
Right. Some spirits are there because they want to tell somebody something,
Mm-hmm.
or they have unfinished business.
Mm-hmm.
And that when I go someplace, there's always a spirit that knows I'm coming 3 days ahead of time.
Mm-hmm.
and they start talking to me. And I don't know where I'm going to find them in the location, but they're going to be there someplace.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of them want to tell us, how they died.
Yep.
Somebody killed them or something. And after they tell the story, then I watch them. They just move on then.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't move them on.
Mm-hmm.
They just wanted to tell me that this person killed me.
They just wanted somebody to know their true story.
Yeah. And there was a guy on a battleship.
Mm-hmm.
He was there from the Vietnam War.
Wow.
And he was upset because they didn't give them a parade when they came home.
Mm.
And he said, they called us baby killers. They don't understand they weren't there. And I says, well, I'll tell people your story. And he said, thank you. And he moved on. But how
Mm-hmm.
many years was he on this battleship and people are going, light up this flashlight?
Yep.
Oh, that, instead of somebody, there had to be other mediums that have been there. Why don't you try talking to this spirit?
Right. Very true. Very true. That's what one of the things I'd like to do is go in there and find out their story. Get
Yeah.
exactly why they're there, what happened to them. Maybe they're tired of just being there, but they because of the fact that they want somebody to know their real story, they can't move on. Or they were, killed, beaten to death by their father or their
They want
whatever.
you to know. Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then, it's easier to open that door and let them go through. So
I was at Waverly Hills. Someone was talking to me before I got to Waverly Hills.
mm-hmm.
And he told me the story before I got there. I just didn't know where I was going to see him. And he says, my wife was real sick with tuberculosis, and she asked me to help her put her out of the misery.
Mm-hmm.
So I put a pillow over her face.
Okay.
I go, okay. Well, she went to heaven now, and I don't know where I'm going. So I don't want to leave because I want to be with her, but I think I'm going somewhere else. How about that one?
Mm.
So I get there and I go, where is he going? He's down by the death tunnel. Okay, that's where he was. That's where I found him. And I says, well, I said, you didn't really kill her. I go, you helped her. She was real sick, and she was suffering. And I says, and I'm pretty sure that God will understand that why you did that you're not a bad person. And I says, and I think that you're going to go the same place she is. And he goes, well, thank you. And then he moved on.
Mm.
But the stories I have heard.
And it's nice that you were able to help him understand that.
Yeah.
But we're not advocating people put other people out of their misery. I have to be very clear on that.
Well, I know what he says. What should I do? I don't know what to tell him.
Mm-hmm.
But that was a long time ago.
Oh yeah, but I'm just saying for now, people.
Yeah, people these days probably
my
wouldn't
wife's not feeling well.
Yeah, people these days wouldn't do such a thing. But back then,
Right. Yeah, they didn't have the medicines we have now to try to ease their pain and make it more comfortable for them to pass naturally, in their time.
they did terrible things to them at Waverly Hills.
Uh-huh.
Terrible experiments trying to help them.
Exactly. So
I know. So yeah.
So what other experiences have you had with the ghosts or spirits?
I was going to say I like to go to old cemeteries, real old ones.
Yes.
Because there's always somebody there that wants to talk to you.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to this one. It was just little tiny cemetery. It's called Child's, but it was the Child's family cemetery, like a farm cemetery.
Right.
And I'm just walking around, and all of a sudden this woman started talking to me. And she says, I didn't do it. They're blaming me. I didn't do it. And I said, you didn't do what? There was a fire in the house, and my sister got killed, and my father blamed me, and I did not set that fire. Look at this.
Mm.
And I just want somebody to know. And I said, okay, I believe you. He always blamed me. She's there. She is.
Mm.
This was a grave from the 1800s. Look at that.
Wow. So she was
Yeah.
hanging around all that time.
Isn't that awful?
Yeah.
And did
That's,
you
that's
help
why
her?
that's why I like to go to old cemeteries, because there's people hanging around that need help.
Did you help her transition?
She went after she, like I said, after she told me. I said, I understand, and she went. Yeah, look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't help anybody leave. That's
No, I understand that, but
yeah,
it
yeah.
wasn't fair to
We
me.
have free will. You go when
Right.
you want. Yeah.
Right.
Now, when you go to a place like Waverly Hills that makes money off of the entities, do they get upset when people leave like that?
They was always nice when I went there. I mean, a lot of stuff's happened since then. I probably went there 3 years ago.
But I'm saying they're making their money from the entities that are there. And
All haunted places are making money from them.
right, but
Yeah.
when you help them cross, do you ever get any negative feedback about that? Well, hey, that's our bread and butter, and you're
Well, I don't tell them I did that.
oh oh.
Oops.
You know they wouldn't like that.
Well, I mean, that's one of the reasons why I don't go to those places.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't think this guy was interacting with anyone anyway. You know.
Right.
But still, they might go through at the end of the shift and do a body count and wait a minute, somebody's out here. Where'd they go?
Yeah, no, I didn't.
Maybe they went home with somebody. Wait a minute.
No, I don't tell them when it doesn't happen a lot, but if it does, I don't tell them.
It's the spirit wanted to go, and it finally found somebody to actually hear them. So
Yeah.
I mean, I've actually been to places where I've had to leave the room because they know that I can do that. And they're afraid I'm somehow going to make them go because, they don't know if you can or you can't.
Yeah.
So to get the activity, sometimes I have to actually leave. And then they'll come out.
Yeah, because there's like I know some people, they go, I moved 6 spirits to the light when I went investigating the other night. Oh no, you didn't, and don't. Why would you be doing that? And I know you didn't, but
right, you just open up.
Maybe they didn't want to go even.
You open up the portal and you say, okay, if you want to go, there it is. If not,
yeah, but maybe they didn't want to go. Some spirits like to stay where they are. They're happy.
Mm-hmm. Very true. Very true.
It might have been their home.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And sometimes it happens the other way where people keep the spirits there against their will. So
I was at a place. It's called Post Town Elementary in Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to remember when there's spirits somewhere, they don't necessarily belong to that building.
Right.
They could belong to a different time.
Mm-hmm.
Or something next door to the building.
Mm-hmm.
So before the school was ever built there was a big train wreck. 2 trains collided.
Mm-hmm.
This was the early 1900s. And they laid all the bodies down in the ground there.
Mm-hmm.
The school wasn't there. It was all grass.
Mm-hmm.
And I found out that a lot of spirits that are in that building are from the train.
Mm.
And there was a little boy there. He was about 4 or 5 years old. And he's down in the basement, and people take little toy cars and he play with it and stuff. He doesn't know he's dead.
Right.
And you can't tell spirits they're dead. You'll scare them. And so I must have went there 4 times. And I said, I can't let this little boy hear like this. Because he was looking for his mother and his sister, and they died on the train. So I did. I had to help him. I said, "What?" I tell him, you see this beautiful bridge there,
mm-hmm.
and there's sunshine on the other side. You can't see. There's a light over there because that's going to scare him too. I said, I bet if you go over there, your mommy and your sister might be having a picnic because it was 4th of July when this happened. They're having a picnic. You like hot dogs? I bet they're having. So we're talking, and there were 2 female spirits there that were keeping him.
Oh.
There are spirits in places that keep spirits.
Mm-hmm.
Why they do that, I don't know.
Mm.
Power.
Yeah, it took us a good hour to get those women to let him go.
Wow.
Well, there are also people that'll actually put binding spells on entities, and
Yeah, they were just, I don't know where these women came from, but they liked having him around, and I said, you can't keep him.
Mm.
well,
They were being mean to us. I mean, we were sitting in the hallway, and all of a sudden we were all wet, like somebody was throwing water on us.
Wow.
Yeah. I go, no, I don't care what you're doing. I go, you leave the little boy alone.
Mm-hmm. So then he was able to finally go and.
Yeah, but we never told him he was dead.
Huh?
well, I've had them ask me, particularly ones that have recently transitioned. And I usually say, well, when was the last time you ate?
Kind of.
And that helps them come to their own conclusion. And then from there,
Yeah.
so, now that we understand this, what do you want to do? And,
Yeah.
that
You don't
they'll
want
give
to tell
you,
a child. You want to do that with a child, though, because they're going to run away from you. Now you can't help them.
well, I don't have that experience. I mean,
Yeah.
I've had that with, people that were under 10. And I said, well, if you give me your information, then I'll make sure that your family understands what happened, and they'll be able to be in touch with you through
Mhm.
us or other people. So, but I mean, the key is when they ask the question, they're ready for the answer. That's what I find.
Mhm.
I don't push them to the question, but if
Right.
they say to me, "Am I dead?"
Oh,
That's
exactly. Yeah.
usually my
Right.
end. When was
Right.
the last time you ate?
Yeah.
That's a pretty good indication.
So, any other times that you can talk about?
Trying to think what else. I mean, there's just been so many.
Well, you also have another book that's waiting in the wings for this one to be published, right?
Uh-huh.
Can you tell us a little bit about that one?
I think I'm going to call it Ancient Earth Energies.
Okay.
It's a lot about ley lines, vortices, and ancient structures like Stonehenge,
Mm-hmm.
Serpent Mound in Ohio, like that, and they all have Chaco Canyon,
Mm-hmm.
and they all have a certain thing in common, that they kind of mimic Pleiades
Mm.
star system.
Okay.
So did they have visitors that have come from somewhere else? Or were they visitors from somewhere else?
Sounds like a very good book. There's 2 books right there.
Yeah,
Can't wait to get. You need to hurry up and get those out
I
now.
know.
no pressure.
No pressure at all.
But yeah, no, that'd be a really interesting book to read because I'm sure we can all agree that the planet's had visitors since the planet was formed.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
And this silly idea that we're the only ones ever.
Exactly.
It's like, come on.
and that we are the intelligent life
Are
in the
we?
universe.
Are we?
Well, the same people that think that just the same people that think that humans and dinosaurs existed at the same time. Them peoples. But yeah, I mean,
But yeah, it's look at just out there and all the different planets and the universes and all that. Just there, the little bit that we do know,
Right.
that we cannot be the only ones at all. Even if you never have experienced anything, it's just logic.
Well, and all these locations, the way they have constructed them,
Mm-hmm.
you can draw lines, and it mimics the Seven Sisters and Pleiades.
Right. Right.
Why did they build it in that manner?
Exactly. It's
And how did they know?
and how did they know?
Wait,
Exactly.
because someone came and showed us, and they're trying to let them know when they come back that this is the place. I mean, they all have this stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and they had no way of communicating way back then with each other from across the world,
No.
but they have the same things in common. How
Right.
is that?
Exactly.
Well, I mean, Joseph Campbell also ran down that rabbit hole quite a bit with a lot of success. And, he was able to work with Lucasfilm, and he's kind of the godfather of Star Wars and that whole concept of the Force
Mm-hmm.
and the single consciousness that everybody's connected to.
Right.
So that's probably how everybody knew.
Mm. Mm. Yes. And it's just to me, it's so interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It opens so many other doors to knowledge, and you never know what you're going to find. The more you open, the more you know, and continues, right?
And some of the places in the book, I actually been to those places,
Nice.
and you can just feel the energy's different.
Mm-hmm.
So you've been very busy. What drives you? What are you hoping to accomplish through all this?
I just like to research. I'm like a sponge. I need to know information all the time.
Mm.
I can't even watch TV without a notepad writing down, oh, that sounds good, I should check into that.
Well, it's good. It's
Yeah.
good that you have that ability to then go and get the answers
Mm-hmm.
and create information that people can then take and move forward with on their own. So
And
it's
the reason it's taken so long for that book is because I'll go, okay, I got the information, then I'll see something and it'll take me somewhere else. I go, oh, but I didn't know that. you know.
Yes.
And my
That
friend told me to stop because I'll be writing the book forever. But
happens. Well, that's the thing. It's there's so many interesting things that you
Mhm.
see, and it takes you there. Yes, definitely.
I'll watch Ancient Aliens, and there's stuff in my book, and I'll go, that's not right. They didn't say that right. or they left a whole part of this story out. But it'll be
well,
in my book, so.
it's kind of like the way disclosure is being dribbled out.
Nah, there was none.
They,
Yeah, it was a great day, wasn't it? It was a great day.
yeah, but it's they're using the excuse of these people aren't ready to know, but it's really
We
about
already
maintaining
know.
status quo.
We already know, guys.
Right. We've been ready. Just
We know more than you guys know.
we probably do, right?
I think so.
Mhm. Uh, they're hiding the really good stuff, though.
I don't think they have the good stuff. I really don't. I think we're finding more stuff than they are.
Hmm, could be true, because we do have the experience from people who have had actual contact,
Right.
right? And they're just getting a lot of the technology
Hmm.
part. So yeah, yeah. So now, have you had any other experiences from you with UFOs or anything that just really don't know what it is, but it it really caught your attention?
Well, I remote viewed to Skinwalker Ranch. I wrote 2 Skinwalker Ranch books,
Oh, you did?
Mm.
and I remote viewed there. So I
Oh,
could see.
So those books published?
Yes.
What are they called?
One is called Skinwalker Ranch, Digging into Skinwalker Ranch. And the other one
digging.
is Skinwalker Ranch, The Basin Files.
And they're published under your name?
Me and my friend Ryan Skinner. Yeah.
Okay.
So are they available on Amazon?
Amazon. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, then they could find them, probably the names right in her Facebook page.
Because
That's good.
when we were doing digging, I wanted to know who were all the people that lived on this land.
Yeah. Okay.
Many, many, many years ago. So I got the land deeds from the land office. I
Nice.
got pictures. I just really researched on ancestry and all that stuff, so I could, what was their name? Who were their family members? What jobs did they have? They were
Mhm.
just regular people that had come to this place and found something different than they were expecting.
Mm. Mm.
And so, knowing that it's Skinwalker Ranch, something followed me home,
Oh.
even though I didn't step foot on the land physically.
Oh, okay. And how did you notice something followed you home?
Because they were downloading binary code in my brain.
Oh, okay.
And
Oh.
I still don't know what it is. I think it's interdimensional.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what it is.
Okay. And how were you able to accomplish to get rid of them or send them back, so to speak?
It's like they just come and go.
Oh, okay.
It's not like something that's knocking on your door and all doing all that stuff. No,
Right.
they're just trying to tell me something. I don't know what they're trying to tell me.
Huh.
They just keep saying you'll understand. Well, I don't know binary code. And you went so fast, I couldn't write it down. So I don't know.
Hmm.
So you're getting basically ones and zeros?
Yeah, I mean, it went so fast I couldn't write it down. So I don't know. I don't feel enlightened. I don't know.
Hmm.
So I don't know how Jim Peniston in Randlesham Forest was able to write down his binary code.
Hmm. Oh, maybe some automatic writing.
I've tried. I can't even remember what it is.
It just won't come.
No.
Yeah.
I know. I
Well,
wish.
Maybe they're waiting for the right moment because they did say you'd understand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's I says. Well, they'll let me know.
Yeah. So it sounds like you're really busy, which is good, right?
Mhm.
I always tell him if I'm busy, I'm out of trouble, mostly.
Right.
And I haven't found that to be true yet. But
Well, I say that.
Yeah.
Busy being in trouble. Yeah.
Exactly. But and it's good because it keeps you going, keeps you,
Mhm.
really not so isolated. Even if all you're doing is even just remote viewing, you're getting to see everything.
Mhm.
So, and interacting with people.
And we get to
Um,
see the world without leaving home.
exactly. Exactly.
no luggage fees.
No,
Yeah.
doesn't cost a penny. It's great stuff.
Yeah.
I just wish I could go somewhere and put something in my hand and bring it back. I keep trying. That doesn't work.
Yeah.
Just pick up a rock or something. Just.
Well, you got to find someone who's there and just whisper in their ear, listen, this is my address. So is there anything that, we haven't touched on? You're a medium.
Uh-huh.
Do you have a practice where you'll...
No.
So
I'd work on the missing people
Okay.
and help spirits when they need help.
Okay.
And we do that for free. We don't charge anybody for that.
Right.
I figured that, but I just...
There's people that charge to do that.
Are they really?
Oh
To
yeah.
find people, yes.
Huh.
Yes.
Yeah, there's
And
people
a lot
that
of money.
charge a
too.
lot of money to do
A
that.
lot of money, yes.
No, we don't do that. We just do it
Exactly.
because
Yeah.
it's the right thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
So do you have a practice that you do provide services for a fee? Is there anything like art or...
No.
Just the books.
No. I said if somebody comes to me and wants to talk to a spirit, I help them, but I don't charge.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah, nice. Mhm. And
So if you want to support Cheryl, go get some books.
exactly, people, and they're very informative, and all the stuff that she found may not be out there.
Oh, I didn't tell you the other book that I did 2 years ago.
Well,
What
we
was
have
that?
a few minutes. Tell us.
Dimensions, Mysterious Triangles of the U.S.
Oh, that sounds interesting. Tell us about it.
Everybody's heard of the Bermuda Triangle.
Right.
Well, that's nothing. Michigan has more ships and planes missing in Lake Michigan than the Bermuda Triangle.
Wow.
So you're talking about in Superior?
No, it's Lake Michigan.
Lake Michigan.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah,
And
no,
I've got the Alaska Triangle in there. We've been seeing that a lot on TV.
Mm-hmm. And what inspired you to write about the triangles?
I would just watch Ancient Aliens, and I said, there's got to be more.
Mm-hmm.
And one time, one of my friends was going to do a podcast, and he says, "Well, come on my podcast." And I says, "Well, what do you want to talk about?" He goes, I don't know." And I says, "Well, why don't we talk about mysterious triangles?" Oh, and I says, "Well, let me get a list." I wrote down 10. I says, "Here, there's your 5. This is my 5. You research, and I'll research, and then we'll see which ones we want to do." And the podcast never came. And I says, "I'm writing a book with this. I've already researched, right?"
Good.
That's how the book came. I wasn't planning on doing a book, but
And that's also available on Amazon.
yes.
Good.
Wonderful.
So that came out of a flop podcast, that never happened, and I said, I'm just going to do a book out of this.
Well, inspiration comes from all different ways.
Yeah, and
Everywhere.
I'm from Illinois, and I never knew my whole life that we had a triangle in southern Illinois, and I never knew that.
Interesting. Yeah, I never knew about the Illinois one.
So I had to go back.
Mm-hmm.
One time when I was writing the book, and I went. It's called Cahokia Mounds, and that's where one of the triangles is. And so I had to go to Cahokia Mounds since I'm putting it in my book. It was the largest native civilization north of Mexico at the time.
Wow, that's very interesting.
And speaking of time,
Yes,
we're almost out of time.
Okay.
Thank you for sharing so much with us.
yes.
And
Just stay with us for a minute, and I want to thank the audience, and please send us emails like you've been doing, and comments, and support our guests, because then this way they could bring more stuff to you, so you could learn more about our history and things that you've never experienced. Well, blessings to all. See you next week. Love yous all. Bye.